I'm excited to be here today with Abby Norton, who has big kids, right? We're kids' ages are,
They are 8, 9, 11, and almost 13.
yeah, you've got a gamut. So amazing. You're incredible. So when we're talking about how busy parents are crushing the chaos, like you're it. I mean, for kids those ages, I'm sure you've got so much going on. So I know you were sitting in the same chair that other people are sitting in right now, where you came to the workshop, you considered if this was a program you wanted to do, and then you didn't. You took some time, you tried some other things, and then something shifted and you did. Would you just talk about what was going on for you in both of those two moments first?
Um, I just felt like I could read books, I could find tools, I could research. I just kept trying to find ways that would work to help control the chaos and feel like my kids were listening and like we had an open relationship going where I was showing them respect and they were in turn respecting me. And it's one thing to find books and videos to watch, but it's another thing to have somebody that you can bounce back ideas on. Or I always felt like if I just had somebody right here that could be there when I have a question or when I'm feeling overwhelmed or when I don't know how to navigate something, that would be so helpful. But I just kept thinking it was going to get better. And as my kids got older, I felt like it'll get easier as they get older. Things will get easier. It does not. They get bigger. They get mouthier. If you don't have it under control, it will just get worse. It does not go away. I needed the tools to be able to communicate with them, to set boundaries, to empathize with them. I think that's a big thing. My daughter, who's almost 13, that's all she wants from me at her age is just for me to listen and understand. And it's such an important time in her life for her to feel like she can come to me if she's feeling upset about something, if there's something going on with friends, or that she can come to me and feel like I'll listen. Because if I'm not going to listen to her small problems, if I'm not going to understand, if I'm just going to say, um, whatever, get over it, she's not going to come to me with bigger problems, which is the older they get, the bigger their problems seem to be. So I needed to find the tools to be able to communicate with my kids and for them to feel like they could communicate with me before before they enter their teenage years.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's so amazing. And I love, like, you have just told story after story of how it has looked different and how they are sharing more with you and feeling more understood by you. Would you share a few of those stories?
Yeah, so there's been multiple times to practice empathy with my daughter because she's just at that age. Um, there was a situation recently where she felt upset that I had intervened with a disagreement she was having with her younger brother. She felt like, why can't you just let us work through this? Which is actually something that they've learned from me, talking to them that way, like, hey, I see you guys are having a disagreement and I'm here if you need me, but I'm confident that you can get through this disagreement. So she was kind of taking that and like, hey, we can do this. Why do you need to intervene? And she got kind of emotional because at her age, it just seems to happen a lot. Um, and as soon as I said, okay, so let me see if I have this right. You're upset because you wanted me to allow you time to work this out with your brother. Is that right? That was it. She was calm. She was, yeah, that is all I want. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from and understand what I'm frustrated about. And then I just had a situation with my 11-year-old today where he was just mad and stomping around, screaming. And I said, because I'm learning, it doesn't stop. I mean, they're always gonna give you opportunities. They're gonna test limits. They're gonna have meltdowns. Adults have meltdowns. It's just finding the tools, having the tools to navigate through these without it becoming a screaming match. And I just said, whoa, you seem really upset. Why don't you go take a minute? And he went downstairs, and 2 minutes later, he came back up and he said, hey, can we talk? Whereas before, it would have been like a miserable morning. And then it just kind of like that feeling just kind of follows you throughout your day. And I'm not in a bad mood at all today. And I wasn't even in the moment. I've just learned from the tools. I've learned how to breathe through it, how to talk to him, how to bring him down to a level where he can calm himself down and be able to talk.
I love that so much. It's so great to hear you say like that you would have in the past, felt so differently in that process. And what has that meant for you? What types of things has that shifted in how you feel to feel more like you knew what to do and it was effective?
I feel calmer, just overall, I feel calmer. I feel like I have a better relationship with my kids. There's just not the tension anymore. There's not the constant back and forth, the constant power struggles. Um, I feel like they come to me more like, hey mom, can we talk about this? Can you help me with this? Whereas before, I think they were just like, she's just gonna get mad. Which, as they get older, then as they become teenagers, that just gets worse. And so it just has opened up this bond between us. But yet they still don't look at me as like their friend. They just respect me and I respect them, and they know that I respect them. But they still know like, oh, she said no and she's gonna stick with it. She's not gonna like, maybe she'll say yes, maybe she'll say no, which I think for a kid is a scary feeling. Like if they don't know, like, are you gonna be mad about this or are you just gonna let
Totally.
it go?
Yeah. They want us to be predictable.
Hmm.
And
I
that gives
remember
them security. Go ahead. Yeah.
I remember as a kid feeling like that. Like you act like I don't want rules. I want to be able to do whatever I want. But deep down inside, that's not really what kids want. They want a parent that's going to be there to show them, to guide them.
Yes. And I love, like, when you talk about respect, I was just also remembering the story you shared about how they were acting differently and a family member commented on it or something. And
Yeah.
you were like, yeah, our mom just talks different to us now or something. What was that
Yeah.
story?
It was so funny. We were coming back from a road trip, and in the car, particularly where they're all crammed together, my daughter is just constantly like, could you guys just stop talking? Why are you guys always talking? Could you just stop? Could you, like, if they would just stop breathing, she'd be good. Um, and she just was like, Jonas, it's okay. Just take a breath. You're gonna be okay. And like saying is like the Flora McCormick tool is coming out of her. And my sister said, so wait, what changed? And she was like, my mom is Flora McCormick Jr.
But you're not me. You're you. You are the amazing you. I want you to take full credit for that. But I just love that because it's like, not only are they having a closer relationship with you, but then you're seeing them be able to be that different level of like giving guidance and a good relationship to younger siblings. That's so cool. Well, is there anything else that you want to share for people that are sitting there and they're like, yeah, I think I got this. I'm just going to read a book. You waited like a year, I think.
Yeah.
I look back and I wonder what could have been different to have you have that sooner. And of course, I'm just glad you did when you did. But there are people I know watching this and it's like, I want you to not wait a year. What would you want to say to
Yeah.
them about that?
I just think, I mean, kids grow up so fast. It like is mind blowing to me. All of a sudden, my 11-year-old, I'm like, when did you become an almost teenager? Why are you starting to act like you're too cool for little kid stuff? And when did that happen? Like, and my 13-year-old, almost 13-year-old, she's not quite 13, but she spends so much time in her room now. And I'm like, it just, they grow up so fast and you just think like, it'll get better, it'll get better. That relationship is so invaluable. Um, and you won't get that time back. So I just think like the sooner you can build that relationship, the better. Like, and the closer they get to their teenage years, the more crucial it seems. When they're little, it's stressful. And that's like, I wish I would have had this class when my kids were little, when they were still toddlers. And then I think that like, if I had done that back then, how different would these years have been with them? How, I I waited a year because I'm skeptical, but if I could like go back in time, I would have, the second I came across you, I would have signed up for this class, because there's no price you can put on building that relationship. And there are so many books out there and none of them really helped. I mean, my daughter is 12 and I've spent years reading and researching, and then a few months of this class and it just feels like so much has changed.
Well, thank you for that. It's beautiful. And I'm so glad. It's been an honor to watch you just implement and connect to that, your inner wisdom, and really put it into action. And I'm just so excited for you to have that reap benefits for the rest of your life with your kids and into them being parents, and how that'll impact your grandkids, and just on and on and